Alrighty, folks, you know I'm feeling great on a Wednesday morning because Chairman members cashed in on 4 more premium selections on my premium site yesterday. We had the Brewers, Braves, over in the Boston game, over in the Padres game. And the only way you could have accessed all of those winners is to join my Chairman membership. It's also going to put us at 3-0 in our last 3 board member picks. And the good news is I have another board member tier package play going off here today. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to my Major League Baseball free pick video here today for Wednesday, August 21st, 2024. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. The weekend's right around the corner. We are halfway there. And of course, if you're joining me for the first time, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks right here on YouTube since 2016. And real quick, guys, we are 3-0 in our last 3 daily best plays, 3-0 in our last 3 Major League Baseball tier package picks. And once again, folks, we are 3-0 in our last 3 board member tier package plays. And the good news is we've got plays going off in all of those packages here today. And they're all included with your purchase of the Chairman membership. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Orioles at the Mets, 1:10 Eastern first pitch. The New York Mets are minus $1.30, totals 8.5. Sean Manaea for the Mets, Cole Irvin for Baltimore. And despite a few rough outings, the lefty Irvin has a winning record going into today's start. Plenty of run, support for him as well. The O's scored 50 total runs in Irvin's last 7 starts. And no real shock, the O's are a top 3 run producing team on the road. Gunnar Henderson and Anthony Santander, they've done a ton of damage at the dish for Baltimore this year. And they're facing a Mets club who really hasn't, scored a ton in Manaea's recent starts. They actually averaged just 3.7 runs a game in his last 4 outings. Now, the Mets have also had their hands full with American League competition. They're just 15-21 in their interleague games. Now, 5 out of the Mets' last 8 in Flushing, Queens did get over the total. They also went 7-3 to the over in their last 10 meetings with Baltimore. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Give me the Orioles plus $1.10, over 8.5. Next matchup, Red Sox Astros, 2:10 Eastern first pitch. Houston's $1.60, totals 8.5. Justin Verlander for the Astros, Cooper Criswell for Boston. And the righty Criswell has a winning record on the season. Pretty decent run support in recent starts as well. And I'll tell you what, that's not overly surprising. These Boston Red Sox are now leading the league in hits per game on average. Jarren Duran's got the most hits in the clubhouse. Rafi Devers with the most homers and RBI. And they're going to face Justin Verlander, who, hasn't pitched since the beginning of June. As a matter of fact, the Astros took the loss in 6 out of his last 9 starts. And out of Houston's last 10 gatherings with Boston, their pitchers allowed over 5.4 runs a game. Now, as far as this season's concerned, well, the Astros saw 3 out of their last 5 at Minute Maid Park get over the total. Meanwhile, Boston went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. Give me the Red Sox plus 1.5, over 8.5. Next game, Pirates Rangers, 2:35 East. Texas is $1.65, totals 9. Andrew Heaney for the Rangers, Domingo Germán for Pittsburgh. And this is a club a Pittsburgh club who loves cashing in on the run line. They covered in 6 out of their last 10 ball games. They also cashed in on the run line in 69% of their interleague road games. And they're going to face a 4-13 Andrew Heaney, who's got an ERA of 4.20. And even if he does end up throwing well here today, the Rangers do struggle at the plate. They're a bottom 10 run-producing lineup on their own field. Now, 5 out of the Rangers' last 6 at home did stay under the number. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh went 5-2 to the under in their last 7 road games. Give me the Pirates plus 1.5, under 9. Next contest, White Sox Giants, 345 East. San Francisco's minus 230, total 7. Logan Webb for the Giants, Garrett Crochet for Chicago. And regardless of how good Crochet's been, well, the White Sox continue to lose for the guy. Somehow Crochet's just 6-9 on the year, despite many dominant starts and strikeouts. And of course, the reason for that, well, it's these terrible Chicago bats. The White Sox are dead last in runs per game. And they're going to face an 11-win Logan Webb, who's got 140 punch-outs and an ERA in the low threes. Now, the Giants also got the W in his last 4 straight starts. It was actually just 2 total runs the Giants allowed during that time frame. Now, total-wise, the Giants went 80% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, the White Sox on the other side, they saw 4 out of their last 5 road games stay under the total themselves. Give me the Giants minus 1.5, under 7 in that tight window. All right, next game, D-backs, Marlins, 6:40 Eastern start time. Arizona's minus $1.65, totals 8.5. Jordan Montgomery for the D-backs, Rod Munoz for Miami. And the righty Munoz is just 2-7 with an ERA close to 6. But even if he ends up throwing well here today, the Marlins have definitely been pathetic at the plate. They're dead last in runs per game in the National League. And they're facing an Arizona club who definitely likes scoring runs for Jordan Montgomery. They average over 7.1 runs a game in his last 9 starts. Of course, the D-backs do lead the big leagues right now in runs per game. And of course, when it comes to the injury list, Marte, Moreno, and Walker are still out for Arizona. Now, the D-backs went 8-2 to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, 4 out of Miami's last 5 at Lone Depot Park got over the line themselves. Give me Arizona minus 155, over 8.5. All right, next game, Twins, Padres, 6:40 Eastern, first pitch. San Diego's minus $1.25, totals 8. Matt Waldron for the Pods, S.W. Richardson for Minnesota. And Richardson's recorded only 3 losses through 107-plus innings. He's got an ERA in the 3s along with a 1.17 whip. Now, the Twins have done a nice job at the plate this year. They're a top 5 run-scoring team in the American League. And they're going to face Matt Waldron, who's 7-10 with an ERA in the 4s. And out of the Pods' last 10 meetings with Minnesota, they've struggled a bit with their pitching. The Pods got held to just 6.8 hits a game during that time frame. Now, 6 out of San Diego's last 10 ball games did get over the total. Meanwhile, Minnesota went 60% to the over in their last 10. Give me the Twins plus 105, over 8. Next game, Rockies, Nationals, 6:45 East. Washington's $1.55, totals 8.5. Mitchell Parker for the Nats, Tanner Gordon for Colorado. And for some reason, the Rockies got the W in 3 out of their last 4 games. Not sure why or how they did that, but, they've been a solid, run line team recently as well. Colorado's gone 7-3 against the number in their last 10 outings. And out of their last 10 meetings with the Nationals, they averaged 10.6 hits a game. They're facing Mitchell Parker, who's just 6-7 on the season with an ERA of 4.44. And these Nationals pitchers have definitely allowed their fair share of base runners. The Nats are allowing nearly double-digit hits a game on average. Now, total-wise, Washington went 60% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, Colorado saw 3 out of their last 4 road games stay under the line themselves. Give me the Rockies plus 1.5, under 8.5. Next game, Guardians, Yankees, 7:05 East. New York's minus 180, totals 8.5. Nestor Cortez for the Bombers, Joey Cantillo for Cleveland. And even though both starters have certainly had their issues, I do think it's the Guardians that can keep this game close. They cashed in on the run line in 6 out of their last 10 outings. They also do a great job making contact with the baseball. They're in the top 3 in fewest strikeouts per 9 at the plate. And they're going to face a 6-10 Nestor Cortez, who's got an ERA in the fours. Of course, as a team, the Yankees failed to cash in on the run line in 3 out of their last 4 in the Bronx. And 3 out of those 4 games I just mentioned did get over the total. Meanwhile, Cleveland on the other side, they're 4-3 to the over in their last 7 on the road. Give me the Guardians plus 1.5 over 8. Next game, Reds, Blue Jays, 7:07 East. Both teams are minus $1.10, total 8.5. Yariel Rodriguez for Toronto, Nick Martinez for Cincinnati. And if you want to see whether I'm making a play on the money line, run line, or total in this one, this game's being featured as my Major League Baseball tier package pick on my premium page. And just a friendly reminder, we are 3-0 in our last 3 picks in that package. Next game, Phillies Braves, 7:20 East. Both teams are minus $1.10, totals 8 runs. Max Fried for Atlanta, Aaron Nola for Philadelphia. And both pitchers with some solid numbers on this season. Philadelphia's Aaron Nola is 11-6 with a 1.16 whip. Meanwhile, Max Fried has 115 strikeouts? 116 strikeouts? I messed up the number. I actually wrote down 100, I wrote down 1,100 strikeouts. He does not have that many, but it's over 100 strikeouts, and he's got an ERA in the 3s. Now, total-wise, 6 out of Atlanta's last 10 ball games did fall under the total. They also saw 7 out of their last 10 Max Fried starts stay under the line. Meanwhile, Philadelphia is 8-5 to the under in their divisional road games. And if you want to see whether I'm making a play on the money line or run line in this one, this game's being featured as my $1.99 daily best play. It costs just 6 cents a day for 30 days worth of access. You get 1 premium selection of mine daily during that time frame. But as far as making a free pick is concerned, give me the under 8. Next game, Brewers, Cardinals, 7:45 East. St. Louis is $1.20, total 7.5. Kyle Gibson for St. Louis, Toby Myers for Milwaukee. And Myers has an ERA of 2.81 along with a 1.11 whip. But even if he ends up struggling here today, the Brewers have definitely hit the ball well on the road. They walk a lot, and they are a top 5 hit-producing team away from home. William Contreras leads the clubhouse in hits. Willie Adames hits for power and drives in a bunch of runs. And they're facing Kyle Gibson, who's got an ERA in the 4s, along with a 1.34 whip. And out of the Cards' last 8 ball games, they lost all of them except for 1. They're actually a bottom 5 run-scoring team in the National League. Now, total-wise, oddly enough, Kyle Gibson's last 4 straight all got over the total. 8 wanted the over in his last 9. Give me Milwaukee plus $1 over 8. Next game, Tigers, Cubs, 8:05 East. Chicago's $1.65, total 7.5. Jameson Taillon for Chicago, Kenta Maeda possible for Detroit. But regardless of who gets the nod here today, the Tigers have definitely played some pretty good baseball over the past couple of weeks. They're 6-2 straight up in their last 8. They've also done a nice job cashing in on the run line. The Tigers are currently 13-5 against the number in their interleague road games. And they're facing a Cubbies team who failed to cover in 6 out of their last 10 themselves. Just 36% against the number in their games at Wrigley this season. And speaking of home games, well, the Cubbies just haven't been good enough offensively. They're a bottom 3 hit-producing team on their own field. Now, 6 out of the Cubs' last 10 outings did fall under the total. Meanwhile, Detroit went 8-2 to the under in their last 10. Give me the Tigers plus 1.5, under 7.5. Next matchup, Angels-Royals, 8:10 Eastern start. KC's $1.90, totals 9. Michael Lorenzen for Kansas City. Johnny Cueto making his season debut for Los Angeles. Now, Cueto has a dreadful, he had a dreadful 13 appearances last season with the Marlins. He had an ERA in the 6s and allowed 17 homers during that short time frame. And I'll tell you what, he could have his hands full here today with the Royals. These guys are a top 3 run-producing team at home. Bobby Witt Jr. has the highest qualifying batting average in the major leagues. Vinny Pasquantino with the club lead in RBI. Now, 3 out of the Royals' last 4 at home did get over the total. They're also 7-3 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Now, 3 out of LA's last 4 road games got over the total themselves. Give me the Royals -1.5, over 9. Next game, Rays, A's, 940 East. Tampa Bay's $1.30 on the road, totals 8 runs. Ryan Pepio for the Rays, Mitch Spence for Oakland. And the A's did get the W in 3 out of Spence's last 5 starts. Of course, as a team, Oakland did get the W in 6 out of their last 9. Brent Rooker hitting very well for the A's. Lots of RBI for him. And they're facing a Rays club. They've had all kinds of problems at the dish this year. Tampa Bay's a bottom 3 run-scoring team. And in their last 10 meetings with Oakland, they've had a tough time with Oakland pitching. They averaged only 3.6 runs a game during that stretch. Now, 7 out of the Rays' last 10 ball games did stay under the line. Meanwhile, Oakland saw their last 4 straight at the Coliseum stay under the total themselves. Give me Oakland plus $1.10, under 8. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the video. It's going to be in that Mariners-Dodgers game. That'll be a 10:10 Eastern first pitch. The Dodgers are -$1.70, total 7.5. Jack Flaherty for the Dodgers, Logan Gilbert for Seattle. And I'll tell you what, don't let Gilbert's record fool you. He's been outstanding on the mound this year. He's got an ERA in the 2s along with a .88 whip. And this Seattle pitching staff is, they've been the toughest to hit against in the entire game. They allow fewer runs per 9 than any other staff in baseball. They're going to face a Dodger club who failed to cash in on the run line in 6 out of their last 10. They also have a losing record against the number at Dodger Stadium. Now, 2 out of the Dodgers' last 3 home games did stay under the total. They're also 60% to the under in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Mariners plus 1.5, keeping that one close, under 7.5. Feels like a 4-3 game to me. All right, with that, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Give me the Orioles plus $1.10, over 8.5. Boston plus 1.5, over 8.5. I'm 3-0 my last 3 board member tier package picks. Give me the Pirates plus 1.5, under 9. Giants -1.5, under 7. Arizona -155, over 8.5 runs. Minnesota plus 105, over 8. Rockies plus 1.5, under 8.5. Guardians plus 1.5, over 8. I have no free pick available for you in the Reds-Blue Jays game. I like the under 8 in the Phillies-Braves game. Give me the Brewers plus $1, over 8 runs. Tigers plus 1.5, under 7.5. Royals -1.5, over 9. Oakland plus $1.10, under 8 runs. Give me the Mariners plus 1.5, under 7.5 runs. With that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. Now, if you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrogPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. As an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. But most importantly, folks, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium site at patreon.com/BrogPage.